It's Allison Sullivan with Stamp Crazy with Allison. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Westminster, British Columbia, which is on the west coast of Canada. Welcome. I'm going to just open my chat. I'm going to make sure that I'm live where I'm supposed to be and also that you can hear me. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was like a minute late today. But yeah, everything's working, so we're good. Okay. Well, today we're going to be playing with Sweet Bugs Bundle, which is the bundle in the Cute as a Bug suite, which is in the new January to April 2026 mini catalog. Super cute, super, super cute. And I guess that's why it's called Cute as a Bug, because it's cute. And you can see all the adorable little images there. And there's dies that cut them out. Good morning, Keisha. Morning, Ellie. How are you guys? Anyway, let me show you some more things about this adorable set of products. So I'm going to just hide my face. There we are. Okay, so it's frosty here this morning, but beautiful day. I don't know what the temp is, but it's frosty, but gorgeous, sunny. All right, so we've got the Sweet Bugs, which I said. So there's the dies. Look at all the dies. Holy Hannah. And these little guys, so we've got the flying bee, and we've got a beetle and a ladybug and a God, I was gonna say a worm, but it's not a worm, it's a caterpillar. Oh gosh. And then of course the little ants, so cute. But it's also these images are also in the DSP. Years and years and years ago, Stampin' Up! Introduced designer series paper where the dies work both with the paper and the images, and this is one of those sets. I love this set so much that I have a class coming on March 7th, which seems like a long way away, but it really isn't if you think about it. And when you live in Canada, you can sign up for the class and you get a goodie bag, and the goodie bag has half a packet of the designer series paper. Isn't it cute? Look at it. Oh, it's so cute. So one side's got all the little images on it, but then the other side is more what I call, it's not neutral, but it's not as busy. Really cute. Okay, but I love all these little bugs. They're so cute. And you get half a pack of that, and you get a full package of these Ladybug Garden Epoxy tape. Look at the little ladybugs, so cute. And you get half a roll of this Rick Rack. It's Old Olive. I think they call it Rick Rack. Especially Rick Rack. It's really, really soft, you guys. So really easy to tie. And really nice. Okay, so that's what you get in the class. Plus we make 8 cards. We have 4 designs. And then we give you 2 of each because, you know, you might want to keep one and then give one away. So that's our thinking. Who's on here? I've got Andrea. Hi, good morning. I've got Leanne. Love this set. I know, Leanne. Remember we were saying we weren't sure about the colors of the paper, but now I'm loving it. I think you are too. And I've got Shannon from New York. Oh, hi, Shannon from New York. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Diane. Hi, guys. All right, let's make a card. So I started with cloud cover. Oh, I'm going to just straighten that out. There's nothing like having a crooked work surface. Here we go. Cloud cover. And I'm going to be using this image here, the Lily of the Valley. And what else am I using? Oh, just a sentiment. I just chose Hello Friend. Okay, love that. So I've done a bit of pre-cuts. I've got this is 8.5 by 5.5. Hi, Sarah. How are you in Saskatchewan? How is the weather in Saskatchewan? Ooh, is it good? 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. We'll give that a nice little crease. Did you see what I did there? I treated myself to a new bone folder. Look at it. It's so pretty. It's not even covered in ink or anything. I'm just going to not let it be used for anything other than its purpose. And then I've got a piece of basic white. Now I've cut this one 3 3/4 by 5. So I didn't go down a quarter. I went down actually, yeah, I went down a half, yeah, because I wanted it to kind of stand out a little bit more. I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper here. Oh, that's ugly. I hate I follow a lot of people online, and they make the most adorable cards, but when they do their Instagram reels, they put something like this underneath. And it's like all this mess, and I don't know why. It's like I find it distracting. So when I'm doing it, I like to make sure that I'm using a fresh piece, so that you're not distracted. Hi, Mo. It's cold and windy, but the sun shines. Anyway, see, I think when you live in a cold climate like you, Sarah, in Toronto and other places, I think you can forgive a lot with the cold because you can dress for it. But it keeps your spirits up because it's sunny, right? Whereas we have warmer weather, but sometimes kind of dreary. But not today. I hate to say it, you guys. We're in paradise today. It's absolutely gorgeous and sunny. It's probably cold because there is frost on the ground. My beagle went outside and she didn't know what to do, so she just hopped all over the garden because she didn't want her feet to get cold. And I was thinking maybe I should get her some little booties, but there's no way I could get booties on my beagle. No way. So I abandoned that. Anyway, all right. Hope it's nice where everybody else is. Okay, so we're going to start with this Lily of the Valley. And I have got cloud cover here because that's the color of the paper I'm using. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of randomly stamp this over. I'm not so worried about the middle because I shouldn't have made it so, I should have made this a little, there we go. I think that's a bit better. Okay. Ooh, that doesn't look good. What happened there? Got a double. I wasn't concentrating. So the good news is we always have two sides to every side of paper, right? Except I had a customer tell me once, that's true, Alice, because I said, oh, you got another paper, turn it over. And she said, oh, yeah, that's true. And then later in the project, she said, well, there's not two sides to vellum. True. That was true. Okay. So we've got our background done. This is going to be a very simple card. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is I got a piece of cloud cover and I've cut this one to, that's a good question. What have I cut it to? I've cut it to 2.5 by 4.25. No, by 3 3/4. Because remember this piece was, we've cut this down. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue that down to my project. Okay. Let's get that done. Okay. Go. All right. Now, if you don't like the way this looks because you can't see, you can always add something to either side. I'm not going to bother because as soon as I start to do that, you know, something's going to go wrong. So I'm just going to stick with what I've got. All right. I can remove this piece of paper now. I only used it because I was going to be going off the edges. And when you're stamping, I learned this a long time ago at a Stampin' Up! Event, I think, where they talked about don't keep things within the space that you're working with. Spread it out because that draws your eye out. Okay. Hi, Carol. How are you? How is it in Osoyoos? You're on the fence regarding the bug set. Oh, Carol, wait till I show you some samples. You won't be on the fence anymore. It's so cute. All right, now I want to add some of the Rip Rack. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut 3 strips of this. Now, where did I put, oh, there. I'm going to cut 3 strips. So one, they don't have to be exactly the same size, but when they are, it makes it a little bit easier to adhere them to the back altogether. That makes sense. This is so soft, you guys. It's like, I know you're looking at it and thinking, oh, I wouldn't want to tie with that. It's fabulous. And you can use just the edge of it. So for instance, you could put a piece of cardstock along here, if that makes sense, and just use that as a little edging. Isn't that cute? We're not going to do that, but you could if you wanted. Okay, so I'm going to be adhering this to my back. Now, I don't use Stampin' Seal because I'm not very good at it, and I'm resistant to trying it. So because of that, I'm going to use just regular Scotch tape. So I could use tear and tape, but for this particular project, I'm going to find it a little bit easier to just tack this down with some regular tape. Okay, and then I'm going to take another piece. I wasn't on the fence about the actual set furl, like the Sweet Bugs bundle. I really liked it. It was the paper. And my friend and I, Leanne, who's on this call, we would have preferred a brighter colors in the DSP, but we've learned to embrace it because there are some of the colors in the DSP that are pretty and bright. We just felt the Cajun Craze maybe was a bit dark, but anyway, it actually works, and I'll show you some really cute samples. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we've got these 3 little strips. Now, if you don't want to use as much ribbon, you could have ribbon maybe as part of it, or you could do 3 strips of old olive cardstock. That's always a good alternative for ribbon if you don't have it, is just use cardstock. And you could even emboss the cardstock first so that it gives you the texture. That's what we're kind of going for. So let's go ahead and glue this down. High-end, yeah, it is, isn't it? It's sometimes you just have to look at things in a different light. If I remember at the end of this to show you guys, I will, but I'm not promising I'll remember. But the lovely blossoms, ooh, well, it would help if we were going the right way. Ooh, that could have been a, nope, no, we're good. That could have been a disaster. Okay, let's glue that down. Okay, go. Now, the next thing I did was I took that designer series paper. Let's grab it. And I looked, I was going to use this pattern, but I changed my mind. And I'm using, gosh, what did I use this one. So then I took my favorite die set, which you guys know is the Stylish Shapes. Okay. And I grabbed, a couple of the circles. And I went with the second smallest one, which is this one. And then I think it was this one, but it might have been the 3rd largest. Okay. And then I wanted to grab one of these images here. So I went like that, and then I got the little butterfly. Actually, I think I must have used a bigger one because that butterfly is there. We go. Okay. Whoop, can't see that. Allison, it's on the bottom. There we are. Okay. So I went ahead and cut those out. So that's what these 2 are. Okay. Oop. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice. It's got little bubble maker. How cute is that? Super cute. Okay. And then I also used the same die and cut out, ooh, not that big. I cut out this one. I hope I cut it out big enough. This one here. So that would be the 3rd largest. Okay. All right. So that's all our bits and bobs that we need. Okay. And taking this one, and I grabbed Poppy Parade. So when I'm trying to decide what colors to use, I look, and here's the catalog. Here we are. And here's some of the colors, and I didn't like any of those for this. I could have used the Blackberry Bliss. That would have been okay. But I wanted a red. Okay, so I grabbed Poppy Parade, and I think the reason I did it was because when I looked, no, I'm not even sure where I saw Poppy Parade on here. I must have just Oh, because the epoxy shapes are Poppy Parade. Okay, maybe that's where I got Poppy Parade. Oh, okay. Telling you, my Poppy Parade has seen better days. Now, if I'll just check this on my scrap. Make sure. Yep, that looks good. I re-inked it yesterday, so I want to make sure. So then we're going to go, hello, friend. Just like that. There we go. I find when I use reds that I get them all over my hands. Do you guys do that? Yeah. Not only do I get them all over my hands, but I also get them all over my project. Or I pick it up and I smear it before I'm ready to go. So be careful. So the first thing I want to do is we want to adhere this piece. Excuse me, and I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. So let's do that. So this one here, because it's my first piece I'm putting down, I can put my dimensionals on the whole piece. You'll see why I'm telling you that in a minute. Because once you start overlapping pieces that are popped up, when you put the next one on, you don't want to pop up this side because then it'll be like this. It'll be higher. So you want it to all match. So if you can see what I'm trying to say here is I'm going to need to pop up this side of my label, but this side is already popped up to that level because it's taking the height from this first one. Does that make sense? Everybody with me? Hope so. So I'm going to put dimensionals on this side. I'm just going to double check what I'm doing here. Yeah. And then I'm going to put some glue here. Just a bit on the corner there. We'll put our, I could add another dimensional just to be sure, right here in the corner. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right, and I'm kind of matching the height, but I'm also matching this one's gone off the edge and I want this one to go off the edge. Again, you're kind of drawing your eye out, okay? And then last we have the adorable little bug of some kind with bubbles. And again, you can see that this side we don't want to put anything on, but this side, and we don't want to put anything here, but we just on the corner here want to put a dimensional just right there. I think that's right. And then we're going to add a bit of glue just to these two sides, and then maybe down here. And then we'll know that we're taking the height from these two and we've added height to this little piece. Okay, so there's our card. Now, let's see. I was running dangerously low on my bugs. These are out of stock, but they're coming in not this week, but next week. But something else in this bundle was out of stock. And the woolly friends, you know, the sheep, they all came in yesterday, I think. So if you're waiting for something to come back, make sure you sign up to be alerted. Stampin' Up! Sends out alerts to let you know that something's back. So do that. And whoop. Because it's got these bubbles, I kind of think I'll put a clear one. You see I've colored some of these. You can color them. Did you know that? Oh, see, look what I'm doing here. I'm making a mess. You can color these with Stampin' Blends. Let's put a few of these little bubbles. Fill in those bubbles. Isn't that cute? You can see it had, I didn't even notice it had bubbles. There we go. Got our little ladybug. And you know what? Since I've already colored these, why don't we add a few here and maybe here. There we go. I think that looks good. All right. Now the one I did yesterday for my sample, I didn't add any of these. I forgot. But that I just used a different set of bugs. Okay, but I really like this one. It's so cute. Isn't that cute? Super cute. Now, let me show you some other cards. And I also, because I promised you guys I would show you a card that uses the edging of another thing that you might not have even thought about. I'll find it. I think it's this one. Okay, so this die from, sorry, just bear with me because I wasn't planning on showing you, but I'm trying to find the die so I can make, okay, this die here, it's got all the little circles all together and it's in one piece. You can cut it and just run it up the edge and you end up with this scallop look. Okay, so sometimes you have to look outside the box to see what's possible. So let me show you some other bug cards, Carol, because you're going to go, I need this set. Okay, how about this? This is DSP that is already made in a panel, and you just have to cut it out of a big sheet. There's all sorts of different patterns. I'm going to show you another one in a minute. But this is just part of the DSP, and all I did was stamp and color in the ladybug. Okay. Maybe she's reading to her children. I didn't even think about that, but that's kind of cute. Okay, and here's another panel. So this is a panel already pre-printed, and all you're doing is decorating it. Really simple. This is the DSP, right? I just cut it with the matching dies. I didn't even have to color this. Pretty lazy. There's the inside. Doop. Okay. Here's another little bug just reading her book. So cute. Here's one. Another. This is panel. This is a panel, just the same. I just cut out the panel and then just added this caterpillar and some words. And I promised you guys that I would show you how to make this pop up, and I will. I'll put it on my list for Wednesday. Okay. And then I made this card on my catalog launch party, which you can still join if you want to check it out. We spent a whole morning and we showed you 4 different, gosh, I can't even think, 4 different suites or bundles. And the Cute as a Bug, I showed a card. And this was the card we made. Okay, but the recordings are there to watch. Okay. All right. So that's our card for today. And let me see, is there any other questions? Oh, I was going to show you. No, I'm not going to show you those because that doesn't make sense. But one of the other classes that we covered on our virtual live was the gears and textures. Gears and textures. And so this class is on March the 7th, and we're offering a gears and textures class on the March 21st. So February 7th, no, March 7th, March 31st. Okay. So here we go. Here's some pretty. Some of these are made by my sister. In fact, I think a lot of these, maybe all of them, except for one maybe, were made by my sister Mo, who's on this call. Super cute. Yeah, this one was, yeah, these 4 were definitely made by my sister Mo. Aren't they fab? They're fabulous. And then this one I got in a swap. I love this one. So that's silver paper, but then it's been stamped and then with Versamark, and then embossing powder's been used, different colors to get that effect. It's really cool. And then she's cut them out. So really cool. Okay, so that's March 21st. So all my classes are listed. Whenever I do a live, I have links to my classes. So check that out. And that's today's card. Thanks, Andrea. I appreciate it, you guys. Okay, let me grab this. All right, and here I am. Okay, here we go. See you Wednesday, Di. Yeah, I'll see you Wednesday. Thanks, Keisha. Now you're a bug girl, Keisha. Are you a sheep girl too? Did you get the sheep? I think you did. You're a sheep girl. You would have got the sheep. They're back in stock too. The Woolly Friends bundle with the. It's got the what do you call it? Punch, so you don't have to die cut. Punches are good sometimes, aren't they? Okay, so that's our card for today. All right. So hopefully I'll see you guys on Wednesday. What is Wednesday? Wednesday is the 21st of January. Oh my goodness. Okay. Can't believe where's the month going. But anyway. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you get some creative time in today. Happy stamping.